Welcome to the Modern Nomad Podcast. If you question your current reality and want to escape the 9-to-5 grind, then this is the show for you. And now your host, me. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Modern Nomad Podcast. I am your host, Kyle Kennedy, and today we have a very special episode for you and an incredible guest, somebody that I've looked up to in the Vanlife content creator space since I jumped into it, and I want to go ahead and jump right into it. Ryan Twomey is the guest today, so let's go. All right, y'all, we are here with Ryan Twomey, who is, in my opinion, the up-and-coming star of the Vanlife. So I want to know a little bit about yourself today. So give us a little brief description of who you are and where you came from.
Yeah, so my name is Ryan, and I started doing Vanlife, I think it was, I lose track of time now, but I think it was a year and a half ago, pretty much on the dot today, because I started my first trip last October, and then I built the van out 6 months before that. But I started working as a contractor for the government, and I always thought about doing van life. I always wanted to do van life, but it was never really something that I could fully do, just because I had to go into the office every single day, and it's just unrealistic to want to live in a van unless I wanted to stay in a parking lot at my job's like headquarters. Mm-hmm. But after the pandemic hit and we all started working from home, it kind of became a reality. And I decided that I was just going to go for it. So I drove 10 hours to Hooksett, New Hampshire. Hooksett, New Hampshire, to buy a van. Drove it home, and the rest is kind of history. I've been living in it for, built it out over 6 months, and I've been living in it for just about a year.
Very cool. So when you decided to do this, so it was during COVID, right?
Yeah.
So before that, like how long before
Peak
that
COVID.
Did you dream of it?
I mean, I've always, not necessarily living in a van specifically, I've always just been fascinated with like tiny living and alternative ways of life. And I just always thought it would be cool to do something like this. And then probably about like, I would say like a year and a half before COVID, I started like looking into van life, and I thought it was really cool. And I started following a lot of the creators on YouTube and a bunch of different platforms, just kind of seeing what it would take and all the different stuff. And it just looks so cool to be able to just live in your car and travel, especially. And the reason it's so cool is because of all of the amenities you have nowadays. So like the difference between van life 20 years ago and van life today, it's night and day. It's like difference between kind of roughing it in the middle of nowhere and basically living in a mobile apartment.
Very true. So you mentioned you were following some people on like social media who are van lifers. Who were your like top van life influencers, basically?
So I really only had one or two van life specific people, and that was Jared Tachi. And I don't even know if that's how you say his last name. I've spoken
I don't know. And I just spent the whole week with him this past week. We were at Gutted, and I got to meet him, and he's a super cool guy.
Yeah, I saw that. How was that? Was that good?
It was amazing. I literally didn't want to leave, and I cannot wait for next season, honestly.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I thought about applying this season to build, but I just didn't have the time, so I could
do it for next season. I have a very strong feeling that I'm going to be on the next season, so we can build something together.
Yeah, maybe I will.
Really
when does it happen? Does it happen?
So they did it September last year. Yeah. So last year they did it in September in Colorado. This year it was in Kansas City, which was literally just last week. So it's October. But they're casting for it next month. So you're going to want to do like a little audition video and send it in for that. Which for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we're pretty much talking about a build competition. So they have a van, they have a RV, and then they have a bus. You have 5 days to build it out. There's a team of 7 working together. I worked on the set, so I was a production assistant this past week, and pretty much anything that the teams needed, I ran and got from Home Depot or wherever I was going to go get it. And it was a tough job, but it was a really fun, rewarding job for me. Yeah, you know how like when you're building something, you may not know the specific name of what it is. Well, now I have 21 people telling me what they call things, and I'm going to Home Depot trying to figure out what it was. It was super weird, but it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. All right, so let's go ahead and move on a little bit. There's something that I want to talk about because it just happened and it's fresh on your mind, but it is Dr. Phil. I want to know how this came about.
So it it's completely not how I thought it was going to go with going on Dr. Phil. It was so weird. Like I saw some random uh, person comment on one of my TikToks, 0 followers. They were just like, "Hey, I work on the Dr. Phil show. Would you be interested in coming on?" And I was like, well, worst case, I'll just block them if they're trying to scam me out of information. So I followed the person and I DM'd them and I was like, hey, I'm interested. And like pretty much simultaneously, they had sent an email over. So I guess they were just like shooting shots from every angle that they had. And he was like, hey, I'm a producer on Dr. Phil. We're doing an episode on like quiet quitting, working from home. Would you be interested in coming on? And I was like, absolutely. That would be the coolest thing ever. So like, and then literally that night he calls me. So he called me, and 20 minutes after he
Dr.
sent
Phil
that
himself.
email, and he's like, huh?
Dr. Phil himself or somebody else?
One of the producers,
Oh,
some
okay,
like
okay.
junior producer kid. But he calls me and he's like, hey, yeah, we're doing this on this date. We're trying to get casting for it. We're probably going to have, they told me that the whole show is rebranded, so it's not like Catch Me Outside girl stuff anymore. It's not, he's not like counseling me on my family issues or anything, but it's more of like a debate. And after that, he was like, yeah, you'll get a call from like my main producer in a couple days to figure everything out. Main producer called me in a couple days, and then I did like a pre-interview with this other lady who asked me a bunch of questions, and then I was on the show. And when you get on the show, it's like a well-oiled machine. Like they bring you in, they prep you, they do makeup, and then you go out, and then you're done. You just leave.
Really?
It's
How
like,
long were you
they
actually out on the stage?
Probably like an hour
Oh,
and a
wow.
half.
Okay.
So, but most of it was him promoting his new show. So it was kind of annoying. And also, I feel like I got kind of baited into it because I didn't really know that the topic was going to be all about quiet quitting. And if I'm going to be honest, I've never quiet quit. I just live in my van. So I feel like I took the spot from someone who could have been a little bit more passionate about the topic. But even if I had known that fully, that was going to be the topic, I probably still would have gone on just because it's a cool experience.
Oh, yeah. So I had never heard of quiet quitting until I saw your episode, and it kind of did feel like you were bamboozled in a sense, but can you explain what quiet quitting is?
So it's basically going into work, doing what you need to do, and then clocking out and nothing more. So it's never going above and beyond, basically just going through the motions at work and getting stuff done. And in a way, I kind of agree with it if your goal is not to excel at work. So me personally, my goal was I made a commitment to my job to get my job done. So I got my job done, but I wasn't going to go above and beyond what I was being paid to do a better job. I was going to take that kind of energy and that passion and put it into a side project that I was passionate about. So, and the whole argument was like the rich guys, the guys who were arguing against us were basically saying, you're lazy, you don't want to work hard, you don't want to do this. And I'm like, and my whole argument was, I'm not lazy, I'm just not passionate about the work that I'm doing in the office. I'm passionate about other things, so I'm putting my hard work into other things. And uh, that's just the way that I'm going to live my life. I mean, obviously it's not any employer's dream employee, but I get my work done. I clock in every day. I'm never late. So
Yeah. In all honesty,
I
do
mean,
you feel like you work harder now as a content creator than you did pretty much at your full-time job?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely work harder now than I did when I was working my full-time job. Because if you think about it, this is a 24/7 job. So, and I'm on 6 different platforms. So I'm on Snapchat, I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on YouTube, and I do live streams occasionally. So I'm driving. I never park in the same spot twice. So I'm driving pretty much every day. I'm planning out for 3 YouTubes a week because I post Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday every single week on YouTube, which is a 10-minute long form video that takes a lot more planning, a lot more editing. So it's like 7 hours of filming, 7 hours of editing, 3 hours of planning. So that's 3 times a week. And then I post typically I've dialed back on TikTok just because I feel like I've already conquered that app. I've gotten a
Yeah.
lot of followers. I've
You're
done what I
almost at a
wanted to do on
million.
there. Yeah, it's just not exciting anymore. And even if it was exciting, it doesn't pay. It's just at some point, this is a business for me now, and this is my life, so I have to take it seriously. And just that vanity follower metric on TikTok isn't doing it anymore. So I've got to pursue other platforms that I can make a living on. And I just recently started making a pretty decent amount of money on YouTube. So it's going well.
Yeah, so your YouTube has blown up. I think the last time I checked, you were around like the 50 to 60,000 mark.
Yeah, I'm at 63 something,
Okay, there you
63,000
go.
something
Well, I
subscribers.
know 6 months ago you didn't vary, like maybe a couple hundred, maybe 1,000.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's
So
possible.
it's
It's
growing pretty
possible.
fast. Yeah.
That's amazing. So when you like get into these platforms, what are you looking for? Like, are you looking for the long-term like profit, or are you just looking to make some like content right now just for fun?
I'm looking to make content for fun because that's the only way that I can stay motivated, honestly. If there's no fun in it, it's not, the videos are going to be crappy. People are going to be able to tell that it's kind of disingenuine when you're speaking and doing stuff because you're not passionate about it, you're not excited. So I do wake up every single morning excited to do what I do. Sometimes when I'm feeling a little bit groggier, obviously I don't want to sit and talk into a camera all day, but I try my best to make it as fun as I can. And when I started out, it was literally the only thing that was motivating me was the virality of it. I was like, I want like everyone to see my videos because it's like
Yeah.
that like it's like that first hit, like that first boost of serotonin is like I'm like famous, and like I
Yeah.
had like 40,000 followers or something, or 20,000 followers, and like you feel like you're famous and it feels so cool, but then like after a while it's just like you get so good at it, and like I'm not trying to sound like cocky, but if I wanted to, I could probably make 2 or 3 viral videos on TikTok a week just because one, I have a big following now, and two, it's the algorithm is such a kind of simple thing to figure out with virality because it's just you just need like a little hook, and van life itself is a hook, so it's like it's almost just not fun anymore posting on TikTok because all of the stuff that I post is for virality and not because I like it or because I enjoy it or any of that stuff, because people have such short attention spans that you have to do kind of weird stuff to kind of keep them to hook them in and then keep them there for the 60-second long
Yeah,
video
no,
or
I agree
whatever.
with that. So TikTok's exactly like that. If you're not going viral, you're really not growing. And then also
Yeah,
if you don't post something that hits the FYP page, you're not going to get views. Like the people that are actually following you usually are not seeing your videos as much.
yeah, yeah. And TikTok might change that eventually, but uh, if I'm going to be honest, I have more fun posting the long form content because
Really?
it's just so much more genuinely me, and it's so much more like now that I'm comfortable with it. Like my first 7 YouTube videos were absolutely terrible with the whole dialogue and the storytelling and all of the stuff that you have to put into a YouTube video. And they're slowly getting better, like as I go. Like sometimes I'll add music now and time lapses and all these cool different features that I'm getting more comfortable using. And it's just more and more fun because it's basically just me going through my day and talking about it, and people really enjoy watching it. So it's like it's just a lot more fulfilling to do that kind of stuff than
Yeah.
try to post more clickbaity stuff.
So essentially you're vlogging right now, correct?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just like a
So
daily vlog of what it's like living in.
yeah, so who pretty much did you get inspired? Like everyone has a YouTube inspiration. Like mine was Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon back in the day. And so like when I
Yeah,
first started making
yeah.
videos, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Is that something similar to you?
I think everyone wants to be Casey Neistat because
Oh gosh, yeah.
he's inspiration.
He
He's
is. He
inspiration
is.
for a lot of
He's
people,
the OG of the
including
daily
myself.
vlog.
But the one thing that I did, so I think, like really when you do something like that where greatness comes from, and any art form at all, is finding 2 or 3 people that you really enjoy their style of videos or what they do in their videos, and basically it sounds crappy, but just copying that style of video, not word for word or down to like every single nuance of their videos, but copying the almost exactly their exact style and everything. And then after 4 or 5 videos, you kind of figure out, all right, this doesn't really work for me, and you inject your own kind of creativity into their style, and then it becomes like your own style after a while, because that way you're not taking a long hard road that a lot of people take, because you're learning from their mistakes. And once you like film their videos, you kind of figure out why they do certain things and how they do certain things and how it all works. But for me, the number one person was probably Mav on YouTube. He does truck camping. And then what's his name, Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
For Mav, I took his video style, which is kind of like very raw, very authentic, very like no music, and it's just kind of like going through my day cooking type camping videos. So I modeled my first 5 or 6 videos pretty much after him and what he has done on YouTube. And then I kind of injected a little bit of Casey Neistat's kind of quick cuts, cutting myself off and kind of moving around more. And then I also injected some of his music style, but I kind of try to twist it and make it my own type of music style. But yeah, I've taken basically Casey Neistat and Mav and tried to make it my own kind of style on my YouTube channel. I don't know if it really works very well, but
it's obviously working.
Recently I've been trying to be just more me and really create my own like genuine style, because I'm just getting more and more like, it's the same thing with how TikTok was. When I was first making TikToks, I was almost scared to talk to the camera and like hold the phone up like that.
Yeah, it is kind of intimidating, especially when you're in public. People just don't understand it really.
Yeah. I mean, it just feels weird, and you feel like you kind of feel like a weirdo, especially in public when I'm in a grocery store. I've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it now. Like I'll walk down the street and I'll talk into the camera because I'm like, who are these people? I'm never going to see them again anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's definitely intimidating at first.
Yeah. Definitely. So let's go ahead and jump into another question really quick. And this is like, when you started building your van is incredible, looks like professionally done. Did you have any building experience previously?
No. So the only thing that I had built before I built my van was and I said this, I did a video yesterday on YouTube kind of talking about my van life story. But the only thing that I built before I built this van was I built a couch out of wood pallets for my dad in the backyard, and it was basically just 5 pallets stuck together with nails. So not really that much building, no sanding. There was painting, I guess, but no, I had basically zero experience before I built my van. Like different like any of the different fields, or like going to like electronic components, plumbing, carpentry, and all the different things. I had nothing.
Yeah. So halfway through the build, you probably looked back and you're like, holy crap, I can actually do this.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like once you break through those, like, because I feel like when everyone starts a van build, there's 3 or 4 really big mental blocks that they have to make it through. So like if you're really stressed about the electrical components of the van, that's like, you're going to be building your cabinets, you're going to be thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do that? All this electrical, like how am I going to hook up these switches and these wire gauges, and how do I know where everything's going to go before I even build it? And there's like 3 or 4, I think, big mental blocks. And once you make it past your first one, you're like, I can do anything.
Oh,
if I can figure out my electrical components, I can probably build this entire van.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, it took a couple tries to get to the electrical, like completely finished, but it definitely worked. And so obviously your lights above you got those from Jared. So was Jared one of your inspirations for the build?
Yeah. Obviously he was a big inspiration. Well, and that's another thing. It's like you follow greatness. You try to emulate it without exactly copying it. So if I had built Jared's entire van, it would look kind of like, what are you doing? Why are you just copying someone's exact van? And me personally, I don't care. If someone wants to copy my van, I don't care. Like I feel like that's like that'd be a cool thing for someone to do. But I took pieces from a lot of different van builders online and mashed them all up into one. So I got my ceiling from Jared Tochi. I got the paint color from Lewis the Van. I don't know if you ever watched them.
Yeah.
And then I got my electrical system from another van lifer, and then I got my plumbing system from another van lifer. And then I kind of took the whole layout and design is 100% original. I don't think anyone else in the entire van life world has this layout with their big wardrobe right here, their sink behind them, and their desk right here. I think the desk is probably the one thing that I did that's different than a lot of people, because when I first moved into the van, I was working 9 hours a day, so I needed a designated desk spot, which is where I'm sitting right now. But that's basically where all of the inspiration for the van came from.
I mean, I definitely relate to that. There's YouTube videos, pretty much anything that you want to find about van life, how to build it, it's on there. So Jared was one of my inspirations. You were one of my inspirations with the lighting. Actually, we chatted probably 6 months ago about how you did it. And you're like, just look at Jared's video. I was like, all right, I'm going to do that. It's freaking awesome. So it worked. And what's funny is he loved the van build the other day when he checked it out, and he helped me out a couple like little tips here and there about how to make the lights a lot better. So it was really neat to actually get to talk to him. If you could rebuild anything in the van, what would it be?
So I've thought about this a lot, and I actually get that question a lot on my videos.
Yeah.
And if you guys follow me and you know the layout of my van, you know my sink area is kind of like right behind me right here. It's like a big countertop, and I made the mistake of keeping it a normal depth sink, like a normal depth of like a normal house's counter. And there's like 3 or 4 inches of just wasted space on the back end of my sink where my faucet comes out, that I would have made a little bit shorter and like compacted it in to give my hallway a little bit more room. And then my couch area, I just never use that thing. I never sit on my couch. It's kind of weird to explain. I guess maybe pull up a video of it, but like my couch area is right across from the side door when you walk in, and it's just like kind of there. I sit on it occasionally when I try to force myself to sit somewhere else other than my bed, but I'm never really sitting there. So I think if I did another van build, I would have, honestly, the kitchen would be behind my passenger and driver's seat, and then there would be a countertop that folds down and folds up so I can get in between the driver's seat to go to drive the van or whatever. And I would have my like oven on the right side, my sink on the left side, and then I would have an extension on the where my couch is, and maybe have a shower, a pull down shower or something else there that's a little bit more useful. But I would want to make the van feel a little bit more open than it is, because it's really compacted right now and really tightly mushed together with everything, because I tried to pack too much in here, I think. But I think that's what I would do with a little bit more experience. I could do it.
You have any plans of building a second rig, or just gonna live in that one for forever?
Well, I always wanted to build a second rig. I want to build like 10 more. Like, it's just the process of building it. Once you do it once, it's like you probably heard this a bunch from people at the Gutted Festival. It's infectious. It's like once you build one, it's like getting your first Lego set. Like I want to get the next one. I want to build a cooler one. I want to build a more difficult one. And I thought about it, and I think I am going to. It all just depends on the money, because I basically bankrupted myself with this van when I first built it. I had no money. I had it's $15,000 in credit card debt. I was doing bad, and then I quit my job, so I had no source of income. But now that I have like a substantial amount of income coming in from YouTube and brand deals and all that kind of stuff, if I can save up enough, ideally I want to build another one next winter, or maybe the winter after. It just kind of depends. And I also have a long-term plan of kind of wanting to build a tiny home or something, like buying a plot of land and like building a shipping container home.
Yeah, that's what I want to do as well. Yeah. So, well, I mean, if you want to build a second rig, you just apply for Gutted, and you can build one just for fun.
Yeah,
and you don't have to pay
I
for
probably
it.
Will. When did you say that next one is filming?
So the next one's probably going to film in September or October of next year, but the auditions are going to be next month in November.
Okay,
so definitely jump in on it. Yeah, I will for sure. And I'll get you in contact with the guy that like owns it all and runs it. He's a pretty cool guy. I like him a lot. His name's Wes.
Okay. Cool.
For sure. So you just touched on it a little bit, but your full-time income now, are you doing better with social media than you did with your like 9-to-5 grind?
Oh, yeah. Recently, in the past 2 months, yeah. I mean, well, I've always been doing better mentally and like happiness wise. Like I wake up every morning, I'm excited. I basically I can do whatever I want. I can if I don't want to film a video, I don't have to film a video. If I want to go to the beach, I can go to the beach. If I want to drive here, I can do whatever I want. I have ultimate freedom. Like I am living the dream life, and it's taken a long time to get here, and it's taken a long time to build what I have built physically and online with my followings. And it just recently started picking up to where I'm making 3 or 4 times per month what I was making at my old job. So
you need to start making YouTube, apparently.
It's actually, so the YouTube is just like kind of a baseline for regular income. So and my YouTube again also recently just blew up. So like 2 months ago, I made $500 in the month, and then September I made $1,000, and then what was the last month? Was September, right?
Yeah.
So September, so 2 months ago I made $500, and then in September I made $5,000, and then this month I'm projected to make $7,000 on YouTube, and then my brand deals are just getting crazy. I had one the other day that was for one video was 15 grand.
What the hell? I'm speechless right now. That's incredible.
But that's for TikTok. That was for TikTok. So that's why I'm continuing to do TikTok, because the brand deals there are good.
Yeah,
But YouTube is just better for like a healthy monthly income that I can kind of rely on
for
YouTube.
sure. Yeah. So I'm trying to jump into YouTube right now, but TikTok, the reason why I'm still putting the effort there is because I still have my brand deals. The creator fund is
Yeah.
absolute crap. So
Oh
it
yeah.
just it just sucks. But when it comes to YouTube, the only thing it's hard to turn my phone sideways and make a longer form video. Like I'm so used
Uh-huh.
to now doing the short form content, which I love it, but I definitely need to be jumping into the YouTube version of it. So right now,
Yeah.
what would you say the biggest blessing is that you have, like, since you started your journey in the van life, taking pretty much life by your own rules?
Um, I mean, I would just say the freedom of it. I mean, it's the ultimate freedom. Like I'm not, I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything, but I'm living a lot of people's dream life. I don't have a boss. I don't have a 9 to 5. I don't have anyone telling me what to do. I can do whatever I want. I can have fun, and I can go out and do all of this stuff. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a business, and I treat this my entire lifestyle as a business because it truly is, and it's how I support myself. So there definitely are times where it's not as fun, but I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything. There's no amount of money you could pay me pretty much to go back to working a regular 9 to 5. So it's just the ultimate freedom, and even just the freedom of not having a job set aside, but not having an apartment and being locked into a certain city and for a year at a time and having to pay rent and having all those financial burdens. I mean, obviously I have to make my van payments and all that kind of stuff and gasoline, but I'm not locked into being anywhere. I can pretty much do whatever I want and go wherever I want. So it's just really nice to be able to do that.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, you and I are on the same wavelength. I'm trying to do the same thing, but where has
Mhm.
been like the most incredible place that you've been so far on your journey?
So overall, I'd say Utah, just because there's just so much there. There's Arches, Bryce Canyon, Zion, Salt Lake City, Hot Springs. There's just within like 3 or 4 hours of each other. So there's just so much to drive to. So when you live in a van, it's like kind of perfect because there's just you can go to a different, basically a different climate every day if you wanted to, up in the mountains, down in the valleys, and those alien landscapes like Bryce Canyon. So I'd probably say there. Temperature wise, it's not the best because it's kind of hot in the summer, but other than that, yeah, that's probably the coolest state overall that you could go to. And then it's kind of hard to pick a singular spot. I'm gonna be honest. The best van life spot, the epitome of a spot you look for in van life. The best spot I found is in Carlsbad Beach in California.
Okay.
It's like this small beach town. You park right on the road, right next to the beach. Absolutely nobody cares that you're there. There's showers within walking distance. There's a bath, 24-hour bathroom within walking distance. Everything you need in a van. A laundromat within walking distance, a grocery store within walking distance, and a liquor store within walking distance. So if I wanted to live there indefinitely, I could
Yeah.
live there indefinitely if I wanted
Yeah, I
to.
think
So
you posted a
it's
video
just has
about it.
everything.
Yeah, I think you posted
Yeah,
a video about it maybe a couple weeks ago.
yeah.
Yeah. Are
I
you
was
still
there.
in
I
California?
whenever. Yeah, I'm
Nice.
just
Very
outside
cool.
of LA right now. I'm actually at the beach.
Hell yeah, that's
I'm just
awesome. I
waiting
mean,
to
you can just do all your work right there. That's awesome.
yeah, and I'm filming a couple more videos, and then I'm picking my girlfriend up at the at LAX next weekend. So
There we go.
that's why I'm here.
Is that pretty hard to go such a long time without seeing your girlfriend?
Oh yeah, it definitely is because like she's awesome and she's like been supportive, and it's been super tough, kind of the whole long distance thing because neither of us had ever done it before, and neither of us were used to it, and um, it was just really tough to get used to, and I kind of put a lot of stress on her without really realizing it, and I really had to kind of take a look at myself and figure out how I was going to make it work because at the end of the day, I'm the one who made the decision to leave. I'm the one who made the decision to do all this. So I still have some sort of duty to her to like be there for her in a similar way that I was when I was at home and do as much as I can because it's my burden to bear in a way. And I mean, obviously she's very helpful and she's super awesome and I wouldn't give her up for the world. So I got to
That's
figure
great.
out a way to make it work, but it's definitely been
Yeah.
tough.
Well, maybe build a bigger rig. You can have a whole
Yeah.
family in there.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and close it up. We've got one more question for you, and it's if you had any advice for someone who's wanting to quit their job, start doing something differently, travel full time, what would you give them, like as the first few steps just to jump into it?
It sounds cliche, but just do it. Like there's all these mental barriers and mental blocks for doing something like this, and there might be physical ones, like you might not have the money, you might not have this, you might not have that. But I think if you truly want something in your life, there's nothing that can stop you other than you if you want to do it. So if it's money that's stopping you, try to save up a little bit, and you don't have to build some expensive luxurious build. You can throw buy a crappy truck, throw a bed in it, build a little camp cooking stove, pull it out and travel and just see if you like it. And then who knows what you can do. You can find odd jobs. I know there's people that do odd jobs all over the country, or house sitting houses, walking dogs, doing DoorDash, all this stuff. Especially if you have a smaller vehicle, you can do DoorDash anywhere in the country. So there's unlimited options for getting into this lifestyle if you truly want to do it. There's pretty much nothing that can stop you other than yourself. You just got to break down those mental barriers. You got to get past that block of like, I have a job, I have a family, I have all this stuff. If it means that much to you, you'll make it work. Because I had a job that was paying well, I had a family, I had a girlfriend, I had friends. I had to give all of that up in order to pursue this lifestyle because I'm on the road 24/7. And obviously you don't have to go that serious. You can just do it part-time, especially if you live on the West Coast. But uh, except for some really extraneous circumstances, there's nothing that's going to stop you other than yourself. You just gotta tell yourself and just set your mind to it. You can do anything.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe in that. And it was very tough to do that in my life, but it is the best decision that I have ever made, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely the most eye-opening and the most fun experience I've ever had in my life.
Oh, yeah. Well, for sure. We'll close it out there. Where can everybody find you if they're trying to find you on socials?
Ryan Twomey with two Y's. So Ryan Twomey with another Y at the end, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook.
Got them all across the board. All right, man. Well, thank you for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing more of your videos coming out.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you.